honorary president of the Supreme Court of Italy and former senior investigative judge Ferdinando Imposimato has accused the Bilderberg Group of conspiring with a right-wing organization called Ordine Nuevo, which means New World, or New Order, accusing them of committing various acts of terrorism. In a new book, The Republic of the Unpunished Massacres, he published a document which gives proof to this connection. And about the document, what he said was, quote, "When it comes to slaughter, it speaks of the Bilderberg Group. I believe this document. I did tests, and I can say that behind the strategy of tension and slaughter and the slaughters, there's also the Bilderberg Group maneuvering using terrorists and Masons," end quote. He claims he was given the document by a former operative of the Italian New Order. Members of that participated in numerous deadly terrorist attacks, according to these documents, including the 1969 Piazza Fontana bombing, the 1970 Rome Messina train attack. These are huge, by the way, if you know anything about Italian history in that time. These were really huge. The 1974, the Piazza della Loggia bombing in Brescia, and the Italic Express bombing, which is a train attack, I believe, in 1974.
Giving you a good flex on your skills in speaking Italian.
Speaking Italian.
Yeah. Well, you know, what's interesting is him mentioning the strategy of tension. The strategy of tension refers to Operation Gladio, which was a NATO Cold War kind of stay-behind project that sought to create an exponential political climate in Europe by having its agents carry out terrorist attacks, which were then blamed on either the far left or the far right, whatever political group was convenient. You know, essentially this was used to kind of demonize political opposition and force the Republic to turn to the state to ask for greater security. Right. That exact quote came from Vincenzo Vinciguerra. You know, I'm trying to get these names right. I apologize if I haven't. And he said, and because he was essentially a Gladio agent, this is from his words and sworn testimony, "You had to attack civilians, the people, women, children, innocent people, unknown people, far removed from any political gain. The reason was quite simple. They were supposed to force these people, the Italian public, to turn to the state to ask for greater security. This is the political logic that lies behind all the massacres and the bombings which remain unpunished because the state cannot convict itself or declare itself responsible for what happened." You know, as a side note, Vincenzo is currently serving a life sentence for murder of 3 policemen by a car bomb in Pategno in 1972.
Yeah, he's known to be having taken part in these activities. This is someone who absolutely says, I was involved. We know he was involved. And now he's saying how he was involved and why he was doing it.
That with the document that this judge discovered, you know, and this judge is a pretty, you know, he's a serious guy. He's not like some flash in the pan, no nonsense guy.
No, he's very well respected.
He's very well respected. It really lays the groundwork for, you know, before this, you know, the Bilderbergs were, you know, a semi-secret organization. Well, not that secret. They have a website.
I mean, they always say, like, do the Bilderbergs, they exist. Yeah. Like, if you don't know about the Bilderbergs, look them up. They absolutely exist. They admit that they exist. What it is a very small, exclusive group of very wealthy and well-connected individuals. I think it's something like 80 or around 80, once a year, twice a year. They get together in Holland or somewhere and they talk about the problems of the world and how solutions for that problem, and it's all very secretive and nobody talks about what goes on there, and nobody talks about, like, they release who comes, like the list of people who've attended.
Well, that was even secret for a long time of who comes. It's kind of like,
they've only
usually
just
it's
started
really good reporting. It. Yeah, they'll like release who's running the committee that day, but they won't
talk about anything.
You know, it usually takes actually really good you know, investigators to kind of stand outside these buildings and get them when they're driving in. What makes this piece of paper important is it shows that this group is potentially, you know, not just talking about what they hope to do or what they hope the direction of the world will go in. They're actually, you know, cavorting with terrorists to make that happen. Right. You know, and to push their agenda. And they don't make any bones about having an agenda. I mean, you go to their website and they talk about.
They explain their agenda.
We get together to, you know, because we're the most powerful people, and we feel that it's good to be on the same, you know, strategy and the same page on things. Right. And it's a dangerous group because here's the thing: when you have, let's say, you know, Secretary of State from the U.S. goes over there. I know that Hillary Clinton's been spotted there a few times. When you have people like that going there, and then they make a pledge to the Bilderberg Group, just even a pledge of secrecy to them, that's actually in violation of their oath of office.